Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I am Sean. This is In The Mix, episode 113. 13, unlucky for some, will it be unlucky for us? We'll find out in today's episode. Last episode, yesterday's one, if you haven't gone and checked that out, was a trip down to London and one home game against the London team to play Tottenham and play Chelsea. We had fantastic results in both of those matches, and today we make a similar trip to Manchester to play Manchester United, top of the division, reigning premiers, Champions League winners last year, probably the biggest club in the country, and of course Moneybags Man City as well. In addition to that, I think we've got tactical tweaks we need to work on. I think we've got our own issues relating to injuries, suspensions, all that sort of stuff as well. There's a tremendous amount to get through, so we're going to jump straight into the game now. So, as you guys can see, we are currently sitting in 4th position in the table. 11 games played, 7 wins, 3 draws, and 1 defeat during that time. In yesterday's episode, of course, we played Tottenham and Chelsea. A great 1-1 draw away at Tottenham. A very good performance from the team against a very strong side. And then a wonderful 1-0 victory against a Chelsea side that probably, on balance of play and stats and all that sort of stuff, deserved to win. But a proper backs-to-the-wall job and a defensive performance from the entire team to get us the 3 points there. We then do 3-3 with Huddersfield. Now, that one might jump out at you as being a bit of a concern. They were bottom of the division and they went 3-0 up inside 30 minutes. We did manage to turn it around and we did late on find equalising goals through Scott Phillips. The frustration with that is I think we're at a point where our away performances and our home performances are entirely different. If you look at the game against Everton, we won 1-0, but statistically speaking, we were all over them. They only had 4 shots and 2 on target, and all of them came in like the last 15 minutes as they pushed for an equalising goal. We were thoroughly on top of them throughout the course of this match. So I think we've got an attacking tactic that's working really well when we're playing at home. And now we need to try and find something that works when we're playing away from home that maybe keeps the ball a little bit better. Maybe isn't necessarily as gung-ho going forward so that we aren't left with massive spaces in behind. I know we have had a very good start to the season. I'm not complaining, but I think when you've started well, I want to keep that run going. And I don't want us to get to a point where other teams have scouted us and know how we're going to play and know where we're going to leave spaces and gaps and all that sort of stuff. So today, I think for both away games, for the United game and for the City game, we're going to start with our positive mentality as our main default setting. Aim to keep possession a little bit more, and then if we need to, we can escalate to that attacking structure if things aren't going our way. We know both sides are incredibly good. We know they're going to have incredibly strong lineups. We just need to make sure that we kind of match that intensity, match that press, match that desire to keep the ball. Now, you will already see down the bottom here, we've got quite a few players out suspended or injured. Barbosa out suspended. I think he's already picked up 5 yellow cards for this season, despite it only being the 11th game. Blore has an injury. He's going to be out for 4 to 8 days. He might be back for Man City. We'll see how that plays out. Cambridge also out. He's out for 4 weeks with a hernia that he picked up in training. Lee Clark has been injured quite a bit throughout the course of this season already. He hasn't played that much football, though he is only a backup player in the squad. You do want to have him on hand available for days like today where we can't fill a full bench. He's out for at least another 3 weeks. And then Carlos Andre, the left back, also suspended. 5 yellow cards so far for the season for him. It does mean we are really threadbare. We've only got 5 on the bench and 3 of those are defenders and 1 striker. So we have to kind of hope the midfield gets through it. And already we're using Winter in not his preferred role. He'd usually be a left winger. He can kind of do a job as a Messiah on support in midfield. That's what we're going to have to ask him to do today. Thankfully, he has that versatility to add to us for it. But as you can see in that role, only 1.5 star role ability. It's not the best way or the strongest lineup to be taking to Manchester United and playing at Old Trafford. But those are the things you have to deal with at various points throughout the season. We're going to see how the additional squad players can get on today. So looking at our confirmed lineup, Kubis, of course, in goal, Warburton and Escobar as the central defensive partnership, Cedron at right wing back, who has had an excellent start to the season, the right back wonder kid from Argentina. Nonye will come in at left back. He was fantastic for us in the second half of last season. Just the ability of Carlos is what's keeping him out of the side at the moment. But if he does well, there's no reason that we can't give him some additional games throughout the year. Leicester will anchor midfield and he'll have a big job kind of carrying Winter through the match. Aguirre will play at the 10. Carragher comes in at the left wing. Peacock on the right and Phillips leading the line up top. Man United, very, very strong lineup. They've got 1 holdout player, Max Aarons, from the original database. 32 years of age now, 14 years down the track. Has had a wonderful, wonderful career at Manchester United. Been there now for 10 seasons and 241 appearances in that time. Just an absolutely fantastic player. They've got a whole bunch of wonderful players. Really, any of these players we could click on. I'm going to check on Lloyd Doyle, who is actually the England international goalkeeper. 94 caps to his name at 27 years of age. An absolute beast. Was at Millwall for a few seasons where I think we might have played against him early on in his career, but he's been at Man United now for 8 years. Concedes less than a goal a game. Has won the Premier Division, has won the UEFA Super Cup, has won the Champions League. There's a lot of stuff that he has added to his personal trophy cabinet. Their captain at the moment, Areas, A Bolivian central midfielder, 29 years of age, again looks to be an absolute fantastic player. I think they're using him as a deep line playmaker instead of Messiah, but he can play a few different roles here. A very creative player, wonderful mental attributes, very good I nearly said just acceleration, but very good physical attributes is what I'm going for. Started his career at Bolivar over in Bolivia, then Watford, then West Ham, and now United for a few seasons as well. Petrucci, who they're playing at the 10, Italian attacking midfielder. Interestingly, we sold them Benizzi a couple of years ago. He's kind of been dropped out of the starting lineup from last season, despite winning the league. And it's a different Italian that's taken his spot. Not massive difference between the two of them, if I'm being completely honest. But they've had him for a few seasons. They're giving him game time today. It'd be interesting to see how he goes this season. And there's no leading scorer. I think they have left a couple of players out. I can't see Cuadio, or however you pronounce it, their star striker, on the bench anywhere. So it might be that they're rotating a little bit based on our relatively low reputation. Assertively, we're going to say we owe Man United after what happened in the last game, but we know they are an excellent, excellent team. Even if we do go a couple of goals down, I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to defer from the plan. We're going to stick to our positive mentality. And if we need to, in the last half hour or so, we'll go attacking to try and push on a little bit more. But in reality, 12 games of the season to have 7 wins is a wonderful result. First highlight of the game, backstick ball and Kubis with an excellent save from that header. The distance probably just made it a little bit difficult for the attacking player. Long ball forward, he's found Peacock. Are we going to see a highlight here for us? Peacock skips past one challenge. Can he square it up? Instead, he goes to strike himself. Doyle to equal to it. Had his angles covered it very well, and there wasn't enough pace on the shot to really challenge. Sneakily, Arsenal, as things currently stand, taking a 1-0 lead against Burnley, would go top of the division on goal difference. But I think Man United are the better side. They have only lost twice so far in the opening 12 games. They've got possession here. Winter did well to win it back nearly in midfield there, but Arauz cancels it out. Aaron's bursts forward and gets in the box. Backstick ball towards Bowen, and thankfully the header just over the crossbar. Wide ball here again with Aaron's. Carragher's gone through him, and he's on a yellow card. Are we going to go down to 10 men here? This is not what we need as far as balancing the... Oh, God damn it. All right, so what are we going to do? Are we going to leave that left wing open, or do we want to try and go to more balanced midfield? Winter can play as a left winger. So maybe we go put him on as an inverted winger on attack. And then maybe we drop Aguirre into midfield and have him play... How do we want to work this? Leicester as a deep line playmaker on defend. I think that part works. Aguirre maybe an advanced playmaker on support, so he breaks into that space a little bit more. But then maybe the additional item that we do... I want to leave that deep line playmaker on defend. Maybe we just give our defenders a bit of a break in terms of playing the ball, and if they need to hoof it clear, they can hoof it clear. Yeah, let's give that a go. It'll be interesting to see how it actually plays out. And let's also use a demand more shout just to give everyone some focus through to half-time. If we make it to half-time at 0-0, there was a highlight there for a brief second. It's been cancelled out. But if we make it to half-time at 0-0, I think we might be in okay position. Clearance from Escobar there just gives possession back to Man United. See, that's really the danger of going to just central defenders. They've scored a wonderful goal. Saulius Klimovicius, I probably butchered that pronunciation, but he's not a real person. No one's going to care. It's a wonderful strike from distance. Good curling effort. Kind of kept Kubis out of it. And Kubis might have been a little bit unsighted as well. You can see the ball out here to Legrand. Good header across to Klimovicius. And he just absolutely leathers that one from distance. Maybe Kubis a little bit guilty of being on his heels there. It wasn't super into the corner, but a wonderful, wonderful strike. We've got a throw in here. Ball forward. Leicester's given away a penalty. Okay, it's going to VAR. We're going to see what happens here. He's awarded the penalty. So this isn't great. Who's it going to be taken by? It's West with the opportunity to double United's lead, and it's a great penalty in off the inside of the upright. A wonderful strike. We'll check it out here in 3 dimensions. Nigel West, I think another English player in the squad. It just clips the base of this left-hand post, and goals always look fantastic when they go in off the post. 3 minutes of additional time to be added on. Things have not gone our way in this one. Carragher showing why he's not a starting player at a Premier Division level. Calmly, we're going to say... You've been unlucky so far, and everyone seems to have gained confidence, so that part's good. Let's go tactically. Maybe we'll switch to our attacking structure, and maybe just edit some of these roles back to what they were originally. We've got nothing to lose at this point, so we might as well play our version of football, which is with wingers, with messiahs, with wing-backs, and ball-playing defenders. I think the danger, and really where we gave away possession for that Klimovicius goal, is not keeping short passing on for our centre-backs. Means they're going to clear it and effectively not release pressure once we recover the ball. It's a strike from distance from Arauz, clips the post. It was a good save from Kubis, but could only push it onto the crossbar. Wide free kick again. Arauz, back stick. Klimovicius, it's headed away actually by Escobar in there. Bruno Eduardo now for United. Gets into the box. Aguirre needs to be careful of the challenge, and thankfully the ball he put in and the far post header just over the crossbar. We cannot get out of this highlight at the moment. Ball forward here finds Phillips. He's got Peacock around him, but instead he tries to go himself, and it's won back by Manchester United. Ball out left now. Bowen's gotten goal side and dragged a central midfielder. Back to Bowen again. Just stand him up, boys. Don't do anything silly. It pinballs around, and then eventually Legrand shot at back post out for the goal kick. But just relentless forward play at the moment from United. We have won a free kick in an advanced position. Aguirre will get an opportunity to take. Look back post. Instead he goes Warburton near post, and the header just over the box. You've got to find Escobar in those situations. He's our best header of the ball. Aguirre, deep free kick again towards Peacock back post. Can he square it up for a teammate? Cuts it back to Phillips and gets a strike away, but Doyle with a wonderful save. Ball forward now for United. This is the danger on the counter-attack as we've committed men forward. Petrucci from distance looks for the reverse pass. Kubis recovers possession and sends it out right to Peacock. Highlight comes to an end. Eduardo, throw in. Cedron does very well to clear, but it's won back by United in defence. Reverse pass to Bowen in a wide area, and thankfully he got to the ball before Kubis, who came out very quickly. Just puts it side netting though. Long ball up the line here. Phillips will go and try and close down, but Bruno Eduardo equal to it. Max Aarons puts the ball back into midfield. Araujo now. Back to Lorenzoni. Now to Legrand on the right wing. Steps inside one challenge and goes for the drive from a wide area. Legrand has had about 15 chances, I think, so far in the game. All of them either wide or over the crossbar. And we're through an hour, so we're going to let this highlight play out and then look at subs. Deep free kick. Kubis does very well to come out and claim. Kubis is 1v3. Oh, sorry, not Kubis. Phillips is 1v3 up front. We need to kind of find some support for him. Peacock with the ball now. Now to Leicester. Back to Escobar. Long ball forward towards Phillips. He wins the flick on header. And Aguirre with a lovely first-time reverse pass to Phillips. He can't find the finish, though. It's a good save from Lloyd Doyle. We're going to hit pause. We're going to make some subs here. All right, we've got 3 players on yellow cards, so we need to keep a sub up our sleeves. I think we want to change out Benchop at right wing back. And I think maybe we take Escobar off for Grasinger. A rare appearance for him. And then what we might also do is set these wingers to play on attack just to try and get some more bodies closer to Phillips to help him out a little bit and relieve that pressure once we do get the ball forward. Passionately, we've got faith in them to make a difference, and we do have that additional sub. We're going to also use our Get Creative shout here. If we can pull something back and make this 2-1, it's going to be very interesting. United have created quite a few chances in the second half already, though. Long ball forward here again, finds Legrand deep on the right-hand side, and Onye just needs to stand him up. Backstick ball towards Bowen, and Kubis can't get there. It's 3-0. First goal of the season for Eddie Bowen, and to be fair, a wonderful assist from Legrand. See, Onye just got a brief touch on it before he hit that cross, but once he gets it in, it's a whipped ball, good whipped and curl on it. Yeah, Onye didn't need to go to ground there. It could have just stood him up and potentially would have helped out the defence a fair bit. Good header from Bowen, to be fair, though. Far post, arcs it just over the keeper. And I think we're seeing why United are the reigning Premier League and European champions. And this is more like a measure of where do we eventually want to get to. We want to get to this level, so it's a good lesson for us. Looking at average rating, Winter has struggled, so we might bring on Johnny Hayes. And screw it, let's go weird asymmetric formations. And let's, for the last few minutes, just put everyone in their preferred roles, because why not? We're 3-0 down. We haven't got a tremendous amount to lose. This is just if we can pull something back and make it interesting for the last few minutes. Assertively, I have faith in you, get out there, make a difference, and let's also use a demand more shout for the last few minutes. Let's not concede a fourth, boys. Let's just see out the result. 3 minutes of additional time. We're through that now. The referee calls full time. Manchester United, must be said, a thoroughly dominant performance and 3-0 victories. 34 shots, 16 on target, 58% possession, 5 shots, 3 on target, 42%. Going down to 10 men after 30 minutes did not help us in any way. I'm going to calmly say, we were underdogs, you gave it your best effort. No one's responded positively. Calmly, let's tell the defence you're unlucky. Let's tell the midfield you're unlucky. Let's tell the forwards you're unlucky. At least we brought a couple back to being motivated, but Jesus Christ, when things aren't going your way, it is incredibly difficult to turn them back around. So it does see us drop down to 6th spot, which is absolutely fine. Still well and truly ahead of where I thought we'd be at this point in our Premier League journey. Greg Carragher gets a man, or not a man of the match, well, Greg Carragher gets a ban for his sending off. Bruno Eduardo for United got the Player of the Match award, the left back, and just a wonderful player. 4.5-star current ability, 5-star potential, 22-year-old Brazilian. There are so many wonderful Brazilians in the Premier League across these big clubs. And we get fined for ill discipline, and our unbeaten run comes to an end, which is fine. Like, United are very, very good. I shouldn't complain about anything. The positive, if we wanted to look at it as one, we'll get Carlos Andre back. We'll get Lua Barbosa back. A few of these injuries might also clear up by the time we get to Man City in 14 days. We do also have international call-ups, 11 players getting called up across youth international football. So magic of editing, we're going to jump forward to the Man City game now. All right, just like that, we are 2 weeks further ahead. Now, we are back to pretty much a full strength lineup. The bench is a little bit patchwork quilt. I think we've got a full back four on the bench, one midfielder who's injured, and a striker who's the only one that's really fully fit. But for us, Cooper's in goal, Warburton and Escobar as the defensive pairing. Carlos Andre in left wing back after serving his suspension. Cedron at right wing back. Lester Rank midfield alongside Barbosa, who comes back into the side. Aguirre at the 10. Bloor makes his return from injury on the left wing. Peacock on the right, who was probably our best player last time out. And Phillips leading the line up top. Man City, another side that we've come across that has no regen players left. Brady, their captain at right wing back, an Irish international, only 21 years of age and wearing the captain's armband at City. Looks to be a fairly phenomenal right wing back prospect, 5-star current ability and potential. He looks very, very good. Oh, he's not the captain, apologies. He's their leading assist maker for the season. Their captain is Gökhan Keklik, who they've picked up from Wolfsburg a couple of seasons back. He looks to be a very handy Messiah in midfield, set to attack duty. 19 dribbling, 16 first touch, 18 passing. Some good mental attributes, some wonderful physical attributes. 20 agility is one that jumps out at you immediately as you look at his scores there. Full German international as well. He looks to be quite the player. And Toby Owens leading the line up top. I think the current English striker, 5-star potential ability for him at 22 years of age. 18 dribbling, 17 crossing, 16 heading and technique. Some wonderful mental attributes in there. Physically, 17 acceleration, 18 agility, 16 pace and stamina. He looks to be a handful and he'll be the one trying to find the back of the net today. Passionately, we're going to say, I know a lot of you are keen to avenge what happened last time we played Man City. I guess one of the bonuses of not winning every single game last season is that we now have team talk sorted for the rest of the year. First highlight is a corner from Owens and Kubis with a very good save from the header. I didn't see which defender actually put that forward. If we get this forward quickly on the left, we might be goal side here. Warburton into Leicester. We've kind of played around with it too much, and then Warburton just clears it forward to no one in particular. We've got Gregory Francois lining up at left back, a player that we've tried to bring in quite a few times, a wonder-kid defender. And then the strike, eventually from distance from Owens, cleared very well by, I think, Warburton in the end. But Man City already turning the screws a little bit. We are set to our positive mentality as well for the second game in a row, just to see how it goes away from home. We do have that escalation point to go to attacking if we need to. Not many more highlights as we hit the 30-minute mark. We're going to use our demand more shout just to give everyone some focus through to half-time. 0-0 at half-time away at the Etihad isn't the worst result in the world, but it looks like Man City have also had some good sideline feedback. They're all focused as well. 1 minute of additional time, which we're through now. So at half-time, City have had 12 shots, 6 on target, 42% possession. We've had 1 shot, 1 on target, and 58% of the ball. We've only seen that one highlight at the start from Man City. Assertively, I'm going to say we're not doing badly. If everyone continues to work hard, we'll win this. Maybe we'll also assertively tell the defence there's a lot more to come from them, and maybe we'll do that as well for Phillips up top. But there are a few match ratings there that aren't great. A lot of 6.5, 6.6s across the board. We'll give it 15 minutes before we look at subs. But the first highlight of the second half, Francois with the ball in midfield. Jawson has all the time in the world to pick out a pass here. He goes short instead, and Francois continues his overlapping run. Not great tracking from Peacock, and someone's gone down in the box. I think it's Favagu, if I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly. And a penalty's been given, Carlos Andre giving us away. It'll be Favagu, who's definitely not the right pronunciation, but what I'm going with. Takes it, and Kubis with a wonderful save. Barbosa recovers and runs it out for the corner when we just had to try and play it out. We had all the time in the world. Corner will be taken by Owens on that left foot. He goes near post. It's Henza with the header just over the crossbar. So you can already see the screws turning a little bit. Kubis keeping us in this one so far. We're through the hour mark now. We're just going to keep this simple. Aguirre hasn't had a great game, but we don't have many options as far as attacking midfielders go. Maybe we'll just switch him and lure Barbosa. Play him as an advanced playmaker, but from the central midfield position, play Barbosa as an attacking midfielder a little bit further forward. And then for the other sub, Bloor, again struggling. We don't really have... Jimmy Winter's not fit, so I don't want to force that one ahead too early. Carlos Andre giving away the penalty is probably not great, so we might bring on Anonye as a left-sided complete wing-back. We'll tell them both we've got faith in them, and let's also use our Get Creative shout. Did that sub not go through, the other one? Aguirre, deep ball in. It's pinballing around. Cerrone comes out and claims in the City goal. Goes short, and now Brady, their leading assist maker for the season, comes forward on the right-hand side. 3 men go to him. Barbosa does manage to win it back, thankfully. Aguirre now loses out to Saunders in midfield. Keklich, who we saw that dribbling in when we did the preview of him previously, carries it through midfield. Now finds Saunders, who puts Toby Jones in behind. Just stand him up, boys. He goes back stick. We've managed to clear it away. But it's pinballing around again. Man City back in possession in midfield. Jawson back to Deitch. Ball out to Gökhan Keklik again. This is the danger. Oh, and he goes the drive from the edge of the area. Just clips the base of the post on its way out. We've used our Get Creative shout. Everyone has responded inspired, which is great, but we really need these front third players to start retaining possession in some way. Deep free kick, Cedron to take into Leicester in midfield. Back to Leicester again. Ball over the top for Blore to chase. Gets there first on the left-hand side. Can he find the right ball into the box? Cuts it back to Phillips, who gets a strike away. It's closed down by the City defence, and the highlights comes to an end. Highlights is what I meant to say. Phillips hasn't had a great game. We might bring on Johnny Hayes just to see if he can add a bit more energy in the final third. We'll set him to be an advanced forward because he can't really do the complete forward role. And we're going to confirm that talk. And there's a highlight here in a wide area. Thankfully, we don't see it. Let's also use our demand more shout. A point away from home at Man City isn't the worst result in the world. 4 minutes of additional time to be added on. They have had most of the possession, most of the stats in terms of shots, and most of the highlights. We're through the 4 minutes though. The referee's called full time, and Timo Kubas's penalty save pretty much gains us a point there that probably isn't 100% deserved, but if you look at the average rating for Man City, it's not like they tore us apart. One of their highest average rated player was Serge Pages. 22 shots in the end for them, 10 on target, 47% possession. For us, 7 shots, 4 on target, 53% of the ball. And we're going to say, everybody thought we'd get beaten today. Well done on a great result. So it's only 1 point from the episode, but 2 very, very strong sides in the division. That does see us stay in 6th position. 13 games played, 7 wins, 4 draws and 2 defeats, plus 5 goal difference and 25 points. We are 8 points behind United in top spot and only 2 points off Chelsea in 4th for those Champions League places. We're not getting ahead of ourselves. We just want to finish top half. I'm not going to panic if we drop down the division, if we only finish in the top 10. Kubas gets the Man of the Match award. Well and truly deserved for him. A fantastic performance. And as we look forward in our fixture list, I think we will jump forward just a tiny little bit to December. We might come back and do the games against Leicester at home in 10th position, and then Arsenal away, who are currently 2nd in the league, a much improved Arsenal side from last year. It will mean we play 5 games off screen, but I think it's a good time for us to jump forward and get those Christmas games sorted. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. That is the part that I appreciate the most. If you wanted to go that extra mile, support that channel that little bit extra, you can drop a like on this video. It pleases that YouTube algorithm. It gets our results, gets our videos and content higher in search results when people look for Football Manager content or look for FC Isle of Man. You can also subscribe to the channel if you want to be kept up to date on all our future videos as they continue to release. But more than anything, thank you for watching. I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.